The state's saying about 1 in 10, 1 in 15 Coloradans is infectious with COVID right now. So the whole strategy of just let COVID rip through the unvaccinated, they get what they get, that idea supported by Governor Polis and others, does not take into account what a rampant virus in our community means for people who are immunocompromised. Here's Mark Salinger.
While much of the world looks pretty normal these days, inside homes like Eileen Adair's, there's still a mix of anxiety and frustration.
Anyone with CF has been a germaphobe for a very long time, so masks are not new for us.
Eileen has cystic fibrosis, making her immunocompromised. She comes to the hospital for treatment every couple of months. She's lived the last 2 years doing everything she can to not get sick.
I don't know that I would have done anything differently. I still was super cautious.
Now the virus is just about everywhere. It was just a matter of time before it made its way to Eileen.
I think this is day 14 of symptoms. I know a lot of people who have gotten it and who have felt like they've had a bad cold for 3 or 4 days and they sort of bounce back, and I don't feel like I'm bouncing back.
Stadiums are full, concerts are packed, COVID continues to spread. But for people who are high risk for serious illness, life is still anything but normal.
I think it's hard because everybody else has moved on in a lot of ways, and they have to continue to follow these same really sort of strict precautions.
Dr. Jen Taylor-Kauser is Eileen's pulmonologist at National Jewish Health. She's one of the directors of the Adult Cystic Fibrosis Center. Every day she treats dozens of patients who are immunocompromised.
They're still sort of trapped while the rest of the world moves on, and it's really, really hard.
It is hard, I think, to see many people just acting like there's no risk to them.
As the world moves forward, Eileen asks that people remember that not everyone who gets COVID will bounce right back.
I hope people are thoughtful and take good care of themselves and remember that not everybody has the ability to fight that they might.
We talk about community spread of the virus all the time. Now, what does that mean in a situation like this? Eileen thinks that she got COVID from going to a small Christmas gathering with just a handful of friends. They all got tested beforehand, all tested negative. And still, after that, 4 of the 7 people who were there tested positive. Kyle, you think about how different that is than going to an indoor concert, for example, or a Broncos game. The virus is literally everywhere.
And just to think about the apprehension that some of our neighbors have lived with, that not all of us, even those of us who have been careful, have had to live with for the last 2 years.
Yeah, Eileen was really worried about getting the virus because of her prior condition. She thought that it could eventually be fatal for her. And now there is a certain sense of relief that she got the virus, and she had a battle with it and still battling it now 14 days later, but she's doing better. And there's a certain sense of relief that comes with that.
Yes, indeed. Mark Salinger reporting from the delightfully decorated Salinger dwelling. Thank you, Mark.